Hi folks, welcome back to the shop. Period Woodworker here. We're going to take the damaged parts off this Gerstner chest that we've been talking about, and I thought I'd give you just a few insights into what I'm doing. And I don't know if you might have this opportunity or need to do this later on, but this might give you an idea. So if you'll remember, we had to reach in here and cut the end of this lock off where it went in there because they had tried to pry it and open it up. You can see how far that this thing bent, and it still did not break the wood. So again, I think that's a real testament to the quality of these Gerstner chests and how well they're built, because that had some major pressure prying on it. But if you ever have to replace these locks, they're very simple. They have a couple of screws in here, and we're just going to take those out. Don't lose your screws. And then the lock just pushes in from the back, and you'll see the whole thing. You can see the damage to this one where they pried it. There's no need to try to repair this because it just wouldn't. These are thick, they're heavy locks. This is a substantial piece of equipment that Gerstner puts on here, and I still am somewhat amazed that they were able to pry that heavy on there and not actually break either part of this door or do more damage to this stile here, or whatever they would refer to that as. I've got a bunch of metal shavings where the hacksaw cut through. Now I think that what I need to do, I'm going to turn the camera off for just a second, and I will be right back, and we will take this door off. Okay, we're back. I've got this turned. I think you can see it. You can't get in here with a huge screwdriver because these sit in there, and then this stile here is in the way, and you don't want to, well, it's already damaged, so we'll be replacing it, but no need to. I think there's 4 screws in here. I do have this little teeny tiny, it's a battery operated electric. Well, that was powerful enough to get that out of there. Very tiny screws. That one came out. And then there's one more up here at the top. Alright, I'll get that out and I'll be right back. I don't want to bore you to death. Okay, we got the door out. pan out here and you can see it a little better. It just has a like a little piano hinge on it. Nice screws in it. Now you can see the damage that's on this. And if I make a diagonal plane right on that edge and don't go in, just go just to the front edge here, and then I glue on a replacement stick right here, and I can plane it off there and plane it off smooth to the back. I'll be able to save the old refinish. It's not going to cut into the where the lock goes that much, maybe just a touch, but it'll be replaced. So now of more concern is, let me reset the camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I hope I have this set so you can see it. I've got the case laying on its back. Of course, I already showed you I had the door out. And this is the piece of walnut that I want to detach from the rest of this tool case. The most important part of this whole operation is this section right here. The reason being is that it's the part that's going to show. And it's dadoed in to another piece of walnut, plus it's glued to the front of this secondary piece of looks like it's some type of fir plywood or something like that. So I'm going to really baby this piece right here, and then the rest of it I'm hoping to kind of saw through it and take little sections of it off, and I don't know, that'll all kind of be dependent upon how well this is stuck to the glue. I may end up having to chisel this off in a very lengthy process to make sure that I don't damage the part underneath there. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few little preliminary chisel chops. And the whole purpose of this is not to protect this, but it's to protect this piece of walnut that is already on there. I also want to protect it here at the side. Okay. Well, that's good. It doesn't look like much yet, but I've managed to break loose most of it, except the very, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a very minute sliver of walnut still glued to this side that coming from this. So that shows that I haven't really gone into this or damaged it. So that was what I was wanting to do. So let's just keep at it. You see the tiny, tiny piece that we're getting out of there. Worked good. It has, looks like there is a little tiny bit of flaking to the finish, so I'll probably attend to that when I finish this and make it all one. I'm sure it'll look just fine. I always like these guys that say, well, if I mess this up, you won't be seeing this video anyway. Well, I think even if I mess it up, I'm going to show you the video because I'm not an expert. I've just been doing it for a long time. And if you take your time, and if you didn't have too much wine at dinner, then it'll all come out. So, it's looking pretty good. As you can see, I'm down way below the surface, or I hope you can see, on this line, and this one. And I've managed not to overly damage the piece of wood I want to save. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what we wanted to see. What I'm using here is one of my favorite chisels. It's one of my Japanese chisels that I save and use only for the finest jobs. Well, usually repair work is not a fine job, but I wanted to really make sure that I didn't damage this other wood, so I thought it would be okay to give it a little use. Okay, let me show you how that's coming. Let me move this There it is. Now you can see that I managed to, and this is a small piece of wood. This looks big on this camera, but it's just a, I think this is about 1/4 of an inch. And by taking our time, we managed to get all that wood out of there and save the piece of this piece. So it'll make it real nice for putting another piece of wood in. Now all I have to do is to continue with that and take that off. We'll go from there all the way up here. We'll have to be careful up at the top because it has a piece of wood of some sort that comes down through, that the door, when the door comes in here, it closes, and that allows this pin to come down and lock it. So, and we all now know how important that lock is. So, all right, I'm going to work at this a little bit more. If I come to a particularly interesting part of this, I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll go from there. Thanks for joining me. Just wanted to show you a couple of the steps along the way as I'm getting this piece of walnut off. You see, I start going across it and it's splitting. I'm watching the grain so that it doesn't split down into the plywood. I also don't want to pry with this Japanese chisels. Japanese chisels will do a lot of things, but they're not good at prying because they are so hard. And as luck would have it, I think that some of this is breaking loose from the substrate. Let me see. Yep. Oh, that's what we wanted to see. Now, remember, we want to protect this piece of wood that comes down through the floor above it. And it looks like, success. You see it. Well, I don't know if it's going to focus on it, but anyway, we got all that piece. You can see the plywood substrate across there. There's just a little bit of walnut sticking right here at the front. And I want to see if I can just coax that off. Nice. Little piece stuck on there. They must have really put some good glue right there. If anything, we'll take that off with a little card scraper. And the last thing we've got, hope you can see, is this little piece that goes up into this groove. You know, some people are very critical when you get out a steel hammer and start hitting these Japanese chisels with it, which are wood on the back. But that's what that ring is for, and I like the tactile feel that you get from that steel as opposed to wood. Kind of doing this backwards so that you can see it, so I hope I don't cut my leg off or something. Okay, I'm going to finish this last little piece right here in the corner, and I'm going to get that out, and then I'll get a card scraper and finalize that, and I'll bring you back then. Okay folks, I've got all that walnut off. I'm going to use a little scraper here to get the rest of this off and kind of smooth it, prepare it for re-gluing. I rarely go on about particular items, but if you ever have a chance to pick up one of these Lie-Nielsen card scrapers, they're already shined, they're ready for use, and I've got 5 or 6 of these, and I just love these things. But other card scrapers will work the same, you just might have a little bit additional preparation. So you might be able to see on this, just out of curiosity, you have pencil marks at the location of the dados that they put for these little drawer runners. So it just shows you a little bit of the construction method. Okay, I think that's not only smoothed it up, but it got all the old glue residue off there. And I think that's ready to re-glue. I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do that. Okay, I've cut a piece of walnut. I've got it pretty close in size. I'll have to cut it off the length. Let's see if this, here's the walnut that I cut off. It doesn't focus. Anyway, you can see this goes back into this. I've turned this toolbox if you're wondering how come it looks different. Thought you could see it better. This goes back into this, underneath this post. And it's got approximately about 1/8 of an inch inside of that hole that it can go. So we need to whack this off. right there. Let me use my trusty Dazuki and I'll cut that off right here. It's a little tight. Let me get a little bit off of that with a, I'll just use a scraper. Okay, there it is. It's sitting a little proud. I'm going to have to take about a 32nd of an inch off that. Now, if I can only get it out of there, I'll be in good shape. Again, I don't want to bore you. Let me get this off and sized and we'll glue it in. Okay, here we go. I've got it in and fitting. I'm very pleased with the joint that we have right here. As you can see, there's one little nick there beside it. I don't think that's of anything to worry about. I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. It fits perfectly. It's the right height. I'll get a little finish. We got it back into this cavity just the way we wanted it to. So, let's put some glue on it. In order to get a glue seam, if it shows, and it probably won't, but if it does, I like this for repair work, a hide glue. And I'm just going to do like they did and put a couple little dabs across there. And I think that that'll just be wonderful. Now let's put it in here. Okay. Got a little tiny bit of glue squeeze out, which won't hurt anything. It's only on the inside wood. Okay, there's nothing up here. Fits still perfect. Put a little tape on it if I can get this package of 3M blue tape on here, which I think probably everyone now has a little bit of it in their shop since it's gotten to be so popular, and it is a good tape. I can't go too far in this side because there's felt along the wall of this thing. I may not have showed you that, but there is. Okay, folks, I think that'll do it. We'll let that set. And that's how I repaired that. Again, I'm no expert. I've just been doing this a long time. I hope this might give you an idea if you have some damage to yours in the future, how you can replace these little sticks on here if they're too bad to accept. And like I showed you, this has got a few little nicks and dings. I'm probably just going to leave it like that. Okay, now we've got to do the door. I'll come back in the next video and we'll do that one more video and finish up this door and reinstall it and put the lock on. So thanks for joining me. This is the Period Woodworker here. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I hope that you would like the video down below and give me any comments that you would feel free to add. Thank you very much.